My neighbor parks in my spot and says it's my problem, and after my car got towed for parking on the street and I almost couldn't take my son to the hospital, I made his life a living hell plus all updates. I started screaming in the street for help, and by some miracle, a car stopped, and the driver helped take my son to the hospital. If I was angry before, by this point, I was ready to completely ruin my neighbor's life. I stayed with my son all night at the hospital, and once I knew he was going to be okay, I went back to my building. It was about 7 a.m. at this point, but I didn't care, and the first thing I did when I got back was bang on my neighbor's door. Since it was early and a Sunday, I figured he was still sleeping, which is why he didn't answer right away. So, I knocked again and again until he finally got annoyed and came to the door. He immediately started yelling at me, saying it was ridiculous for me to be banging on his door at that hour and asking what I wanted. So, I told him everything. I told him how my son had had an asthma attack, and if it hadn't been for the Good Samaritan who stopped to help, I didn't know if my son would have been okay. I explained how my car had been towed for the third time because I had to park in the street because of him. And I told him that since he had decided to make my